Chris, thanks for your time. You were up on stage, part of the panel this evening. How did you get on? Did you enjoy the experience? Was a lot of, I suppose, learning from your peers and from the audience?
I think there was a lot of interaction. There was some really good debate, and it was really interesting to get some common ground, particularly listening to Susie from Red Carnation and her views as an independent hotel chain, that, you know, what we're seeing at Accor is not dissimilar to what she's seeing, and I think every hotel is feeling the same challenges and pressures, although it be at different levels and different situations. So it was good.
So we're at I suppose, a travel tech event, but what I thought was interesting is that we didn't discuss technology. We discussed the basics. I think that was your core point.
And I think the focus, I think Kevin always does a great job in facilitating it, that we ended up talking about the big things, which is distribution and the customer. And, you know, the customer doesn't get talked about enough, and I think that came out really strongly tonight as well.
So we discussed the basics, and I think everyone agreed that was definitely something. And then we discussed distribution, but in fact it almost came full circle. I think the consensus was maybe balance at the end.
Yeah, I think, you know, I say again, it comes back, and I think the guy made the point, technology, customer, you don't tell us what the customer wants, we don't know what techies want to build. It just comes back again, technology and customer, they're one and the same, and far too often companies are just not bringing those two together.
And a few of your peers this evening made the point that if, you know, wouldn't it be wonderful to be a brand new hotel, start from scratch? Yeah. You don't have all these legacy systems, you know, and how difficult it is. And I think it was Susie who said, you know, we therefore rely on, you know, the technology companies. But you as Accor, I think, are at the forefront of actually trying to turn it on its head from within.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're doing. We've invested €225 million over 5 years in a digital plan. But I'll say it again, the customer's at the heart of that. We look at what the customer wants, and regardless of what portfolio and infrastructure and assets we have, what does the customer want? And then build the technology around the customer. And I think that's the point that Elliot was trying to make about what he wants, is that's his hotel. But what do customers want? And far too often the technology drives it, or the hotels are building hotels that they want without talking to customers.
And last question, tell me about, we all go to a lot of big conferences in the travel industry, but this is a small kind of, you know, networking event, but yet very open forum where a lot of people can discuss, you know, very open ideas. How useful or valuable do you find that?
I think it's small enough to be intimate, but it's big enough to get the right topics brought up. And I think, you know, Kevin brought out all the right questions and got some of the big ticket items without having to drag it out, which some conferences just go through, and it ends up being a long time to get to the question, where I think we got to the question and the answer very quickly.